So did y'all see that Monique recently spoke to The Hollywood Reporter, and she said that her friend, director, producer Lee Daniels told her that she had been blackballed in the industry because of the way she chose not to campaign during Precious, which she won the Oscar for. Most recently, Lee Daniels was on CNN talking to Don Lemon, and he was like, he said, you know, when people, there were certain things that she did, there were certain things she asked for, unreasonable demands that she made, and people didn't appreciate it. They took note of it. Mm-hmm. And so it might contribute to the fact that we haven't seen her as much as we thought we were going to see her after the Oscar win.
Celebrities ask for such unreasonable things all the time. Like, what was she asking for?
Because she's black.
That is true.
And she's a woman.
I don't know, like this whole story, like, I just think Lee Daniels blackballed her. I don't think other people blackballed her. I really think that, and all the projects that he talked about were his projects. It wasn't any other person's project.
She's not getting anything else.
She is getting other things that are coming out later on this year.
She's done 2 things since Precious, like 2 things. She's only done the Blackbird movie, and that's something that she's behind too. And then she's gotten a role in the Queen Latifah, Bessie Smith movie.
Yeah, you think it's Lee?
Yeah, like
I don't think. I feel like if someone blackballed you, just because Lee Daniels seems like he's like the keep it real type. Mm-hmm. I feel like if he were the one who blackballed, he would tell her like, no, I don't rock with you no more, and here's why. I feel like it really was somebody else, and he wanted to be the one to tell her what was tea.
Right.
So she wasn't out here looking crazy. Okay, so it's like the writer, the producer, the director, and then it's the studio. Right. So if he presented to the studio and saying, I want Monique for, and they're like, we heard about Monique. Yeah. You know, then what can he say? You need them. You need them to finance your film.
And he probably works with the same people on each thing, for each thing as well.
It's just something's very sus. It's just sus. I just need more details. Yeah. I need receipts.
But I don't think he's gonna say exactly what she did because he's her friend. You know.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Somebody must have got cussed out or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would need to know over the top. Not like a fight or anything, but somebody must have got, something must have happened for somebody to be like, oh, really? Okay.
And
hello? Yeah, don't fuck with Monique no more. Spread the word, thank you. Like, it had to be something like messy.
So, did y'all see this past weekend during the Oscars, the fashion recap on Fashion Police on E? Giuliana Rancic was talking about Zendaya Coleman and her faux locks, and she said that she looked like she smelled of patchouli oil and weed. Now, I know you sit next to 2 dreadheads, locked ladies, whatever you want to call it. But that was out of control.
That was really immature. She didn't put any thought into it. She just let that word vomit just go, and then she tried to come back and say, I didn't mean it that way. Like, you was dead wrong. So when she had to come correct and give that proper apology.
I think also like her response, it was sincere in the sense of like she feels bad because it blew up in her face, but then it wasn't sincere because she's like, this was a learning experience for her, and it's like, that's a lie because you've been doing this for years. You know what I mean? So it's like, I just felt like you can't say this is a learning experience because you know better. You know what I mean? And it's like, I just felt like you got a little too comfortable and you wanted to say something that you probably would have been saying, behind closed doors.
I just kind of felt like this kind of puts the spotlight on the reality of the fact that a lot of people who are out here critiquing what people are wearing and doing or whatever, they don't know anything about our style, our hair, anything like that. So they don't get it. Everything to them seems like it should be something that, if she would have did something different with that, like with that fro or with those locks, and those weren't even her own locks, those aren't real. For her to even be like, I feel like she smells like patchouli oil and weed. It's like, that's not even her own hair. Like, you don't know nothing about black hair. You don't know nothing about our style sense. It's like you guys are all based and used to wearing the same random stuff. And I don't think she was racist for it. I think she just, like a lot of people, she's just ignorant.
Exactly. That's what I appreciate about Zendaya. I think she handled this like beautifully. Yeah. Like, she called her out first, like let her know, like, this is not okay.
Without calling her out.
And then she also, told people, like, we're not going to solve anything by body shaming her, by calling her thin. The Baron thing, I hadn't even seen anything like that. That's low down. That's low down. So I think Zendaya handled this like really, really well. And I think we'll be seeing a lot more of her just because she's a class act, and people like that rise to the top. So, did y'all see your boy Chris Brown is Chris Brown? He's on the radio again. they interview Chris Brown, and I think people keep interviewing Chris Brown because he's always saying something off the wall. He always has like some type of quotable, some type of soundbite you can grab that's gonna get people to click. And Chris Brown said this week that, Rihanna and Karrueche couldn't do any better in terms of romantic partners. And it's like,
In the game.
They couldn't do any better. He was like, there are rumors that Rihanna is dating Leonardo DiCaprio. He's like, that's nice, but he ain't me. I'm like, no, he's not you.
he's like in this game. He's like, who you gonna be with? Some corny ass rapper. Talking about Drake. So.
Right.
There's some good underneath all that garbage, but yeah, you are insane if you think that either of these women can do better than you. And that's why these fools be out here acting like this, though. Because they really believe that they can do better. And that's why women like Karrueche are out here taking it, because they don't think they could do better either.
That's right. It's a mental game.
It's crazy.
He probably been in her ear saying that same stuff. When they break up, but guess what he's texting? Who you gonna go to? Who you gonna be with?
Like in terms of like Karrueche's mental space, probably like if all his friends clowning you and then he clowning you in this interview, it's like she's not in the headspace to even receive that there are doctors and lawyers and teachers or pastors, whoever, that will be really interested in her. You know what I mean? The interview was just like, it was funny. Like, I can't take Chris Brown seriously because in our world that's not normal, but because in this, like, especially in the entertainment industry, even like you have to be that. And then also just the people around you don't necessarily give you the right advice because they're trying to get a check too. So, like...
So no one can check you.
Exactly. So who's her best friend?
I don't have any problems with Karrueche. I know a lot of people seem to have some kind of like bone to pick with her for no reason, but I just think that when I look at their situation, I'm like, girl, you just staying around because it's convenient in many ways. Aside from the art, like monetarily, it's convenient. Professionally, it's convenient. That's why I think she's still here.
Absolutely.
I think
she loves
really
him.
in love with him.
But I think there are other things that play.
Just Jasmine, like even the fact that when they asked her, like, oh, because he's out here talking about I want to have babies, and they were like, would you have a baby with Chris Brown? And she was like,
Because I wouldn't want nobody to tell nobody that I'm dating or anybody to get out there and be like, yeah, I'm ready for a baby, but I don't want to give you half of what I did. I don't want to get married or nothing.
So he don't really trust her intentions.
So that's why they're so interchangeable. That's why they're so accessible, because it's like, it's just whatever to him. It's
no
like
respect. Thank you for watching this episode of Did Y'all See? For more videos like this, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/MadameNoire.